Hello students, in the previous class we have learned about different computer memories. We have also learned about different memory units. Today we are going to study what is hardware, what is software. After that we will learn about different categories of software. After we have learned about the categories of software, we will also learn different types of software. So let us start with hardware. Now here in the image you can see various different components of a computer. You can see a monitor, keyboard, mouse, CD drive, hard disk, motherboard and so many things. All these physical components of a computer are hardware. The hardware are the components of the computer that you can touch and you can see. So let's see over here. Computer hardware comprises of physical components of the computer. The physical devices that we are seeing is hardware. In simple words, parts that we can see, touch and feel are hardware. We can see the devices with our eyes, we can touch them, so all these form the hardware. Example, motherboard, CPU, graphic card, fan, webcam, power supply, etc. Apart from these, all the input devices like keyboard, mouse, scanners, then output devices, printers, speakers, all these, even the power cords, the power cables, all these are categorized as hardware. Okay, so coming to the next one, software. Software are programs or set of programs which are required by the machine to perform a specific task. So here we have programs or set of programs used by computer or software. Code which is required by the machine to work is software. This helps us to interact with the computer in order to perform a particular task. Using these softwares, a user can interact with the hardware of the computer. So we can interact with the machine, we can interact with the CPU and get a particular task completed. Example, games, operating systems, etc. So various different games that are available, operating systems like Windows, different applications that we have like Microsoft Office and Scratch or the web browsers, all these will fall in the category of software. For a computer to work, hardware and software both are required. You need some particular hardware, some basic minimum hardware and some basic minimum softwares so that your computers can work. If we do not have these minimum requirements, our machine will not work. So this is about hardware and software. Let us look at different categories of the software. After the developer completed the code for the software, after the software is ready, the developer can decide that if he wants to categorize the software as closed source software or open source software. So it is the choice of the developer how they want to categorize the software. Now, closed source software and open source software. What do these two terms mean? Let us start with open source software. Open source software means the softwares which can be available to the end user freely. These softwares which are available to the user can view the code, can modify the code, and even the user can distribute the code to different people. These types of softwares are open source softwares. Software that releases code in public domain for everyone to use is open source. So the code is available for everyone. You can go to internet, you can go to that particular website and download the code. Source code can be copied, modified, or distributed by other users and organizations. So the code can be copied, can be distributed, and you can change the code also. The software constantly updates, improves, and expands as many people can work on its improvement. Now, for example, that there is an open source software and many people have downloaded the software. If there are some bugs or if there are some problems which we cannot get through, if there is some troubleshooting to be done, then there is a community of all the people who have downloaded this software and they can help each other to perform to make improvements in the software. So the software is being continuously updated because many people are using the software and they can make the changes also. Last point, FOSS policy is used by many states. FOSS stands for Free Open Source Software Policy. Now many of the states are encouraging people to download open source software rather than using softwares for which they have to pay. The states are encouraging people to use only and only open source software. This is about the open source. Now when we say open source software is free to download, yes, that is right, that open source softwares are free to download. We can download them and we can use them. However, it depends on the developer that they want the complete software to be free or not. It is possible that the developer will give only a basic version as free version. And if you want to upgrade it further, then the developer might charge. Then there will be some kind of fees, or there can be some kind of different payments for that. Also, it is possible that the software is free, but the maintenance, when you are updating it to another version, so all these things, it might be possible that a little cost must be included there. But basically, the versions are free. Next one is closed source software. Closed source software is opposite to open source. Here, the code is not given to the end user. The end user has to pay for the software before they are using it. They cannot download it for free. They cannot distribute it to anyone. They cannot modify the code also. Only the developer, the author of the code, has the right to change the code. So this is opposite of open source and is closely guarded code. The code is closely guarded. Nobody can make the changes in the code. Only original author can access, copy and alter the software. If there are any particular changes to be done, if there are any bug fixes to be done, then the author of the code can make the changes, nobody else. User has to purchase the software before using it. If I am the user, then I have to buy that software so that I can use it. Without buying, I am not allowed to download it. I will not be able to use this. One such example is Microsoft Office. If I want to use Microsoft Office, then I have to buy the software from Microsoft and then I can install it on my machine. A similar software like LibreOffice is an open source software. It is also Office. So people, if they don't want to pay money for the Office software, then they will go for LibreOffice. So this is about the categories of software. Next, we are going to study types of computer software. The computer software is again two types. First one is application software. The second one is system software. Let us have a look at application software. Now, application softwares are softwares which are for the end user, which the end user can anytime use them depending on the need. It is not necessary that we need an application software like particularly Scratch. If I don't have Scratch on my machine installed, my machine can work without that software. So it depends on each and everybody's requirement which particular software they want to install or not. However, there will be no problem in the working of the machine. Your computers will work without the application software also. Application software is a program or group of programs designed for the end user. The end users like you and me can work on these particular softwares. Example, database programs, word processor, web browsers, presentation software, games, spreadsheets, etc. So these are the various different types of softwares or application software. We can have database programs, we can have web browsers. All these will be categorized under application softwares. After this, we have system software. System software is the operating system. Now, one such operating system is Windows. Windows has different versions starting from Windows 95 to Windows 10, which is the current latest version. Also, we have Mac OS, which is registered by the Apple organization. So the Apple devices are using Mac OS. Apart from that, we have Linux, Unix, which are free open source softwares. System software. System software is a set of instructions required for the computer to work. Now these softwares are necessary for a machine to work. If I do not have an operating system, in that case my machine will not work. It is as good as just a electronic box. Unless and until you provide the system software, unless and until we provide the operating system, the machine will not work. Application softwares are installed on system software. Once we have the system software installed on our machines, then we can download or install any application softwares that we require. Applications softwares will depend on the need of each and every individual. Now, system softwares will be operating system and the utility programs which are necessary for a machine to work. OS allows different applications and hardware components to communicate with each other. So this is the basic work of operating system. It is working as an interface between the user and different computer components. So here OS is necessary so that the applications and hardware components can communicate with each other and perform the basic task. Example, Linux OS. Other examples, Red Hat, Windows, Mac. All these are different examples of computer system softwares. Okay, so this is about different types of softwares. Thank you.